again, we've briefly talked about it before. Before we had a little technical issue. You have won at Augusta at the Masters 2016.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? That must be one of the greatest achievements. Like, what are your 3 highlights from winning the Masters in 2016 with Danny Willett?
Yeah, my first would be walking down the 10th. We walked down the 10th on Sunday, and the night before we were like, if we can have a run at this, I think we were 3 or 4 behind going into that last round. Like, we have a quick start, and you never know, we might put a bit of pressure on, and who knows what will happen. And anyway, still on that 10th tee, I think Dan was a couple under front 9, really, really good, solid front 9 because it was tough conditions that year, and we were further behind. And we were like, well, listen, let's have a run at it. We're walking. It's a great tee shot down 10, and we walked down there and said, listen, mate. Because we used to watch this as kids. How good is this to be in contention? Back 9, Augusta, on a Sunday, and even now I've got goosebumps. But
and you're on the bag of a mate. Like, how cool
it's
is
just,
that?
and it is. It's like 2 mates. Like, you almost feel like imposters. Like, what are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? Like, it was class, and it was just such a cool moment to just be walking down there with your mate and going, got half a sniff. You never know. I didn't realize it was going to play out the way it played out, but yeah, that was a cool moment. The other one was walking onto 16th, walking off 15 onto 16th, because that's when we found out.
The leaderboard switched, didn't it?
Yeah. And when you're on a golf course and you're playing, we've not got the benefit of TV and seeing everything that happens. So for all we know, that happened 20 minutes earlier, 15 minutes earlier, and that scoreboard's just changed. So that was mega. Stood on that tee box. Yeah, you're in the leader, the Masters with 3 holes to go, stood on 16, and yeah, ridiculous. And then walking off 18 when he's holed that putt. Now, obviously, things could happen if they had to do something ridiculous to catch us. I think it was Dustin and Jordan that still had a chance. But walking off 18, that was my first experience of like something that big of an event, and like all cameras, like all crowds shouting for Dan and stuff like that. And that was just, I don't know, something that sticks in my head that was ridiculous.
What was the after party like?
Ridiculous, yeah.
Sir Alex Ferguson was there, wasn't he?
Everyone seemed to be there, and it was just, yeah, it was surreal. Like, yeah, we'd won, but I don't think it sunk in, and all that stuff was. This is, you got Alex Ferguson there, and all these other celebs, and just everyone was just having a great time. And I remember me and Dan sat down like 5 hours into it, and like Dan's like, "What have we done?" And I'm like, "I don't know." It just and everything from there, just it kind of started to sink in over a couple of weeks. But
did you still have your boiler suit on?
I was just going to ask that.
I didn't take it off. That was the other moment. So once I'd realised we'd won, I was like, I need this boiler suit, and I need that flag off 18.
Because normally, obviously, you don't take the boiler suit home, do you? No.
So anyone with a green jacket's a member. So I think. I don't know how many members they've got. I think I asked everyone. And I kept asking them, like, can I keep hold of this boiler suit? And he was like, yeah, let's see what we can do. So I'm like, I'm not taking it off. Anyway, so
rip it off me.
Yeah, so now I kept asking, and one of them said to me, listen, we're not saying you can have it. We're just suggesting maybe just don't take it off. So, yeah, I never took it off.
And you've got it at home?
Yeah, I've got it home all framed with a flag off 18.
I love that. I love that. Because, like I say, because even... if you win the green jacket, you're not a member, are you?
No.
Like, we had Sir Nick Faldo on the podcast and learned so much about what it actually means winning the Masters. Like, there's rules of what you can wear with the green jacket. Like, Danny can't wear certain colours with it. You can't do certain things. It doesn't now leave the premises of Augusta National, does it?
Yeah, no, I think they get to take it with them for a year.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just stays at the club.
Well, you got to keep your boiler suit.
I've got my boiler suit. It's all framed.
Do Augusta know this?
They do now. You might want to cut this down.
Well, so there you the 3 highlights. Then Chris, obviously you've caddied there at the Masters as well. What makes Augusta so hard to caddy around? Give me 3 points that makes it such a challenging golf course to caddy.
The greens, the swirl and winds, for starters. We always have this thing where we sort of get the wind on the first tee. And obviously tree line golf courses, you go where, because it can move around wherever. That's one place you can't do it. Like Smart, we've talked about this numerous times, haven't we? We've gone out and practice rounds. I'm like, Smart, you like the wind? What do we do? He's like, you've just got to feel it. I'm like, but that goes against what we normally do. He's like, I'm going to take his advice because he's won there. But yeah, the swirling winds. The greens are so undulating. You don't really see it on TV. And so are the fairways, to be fair, as well, aren't they? They're really slopey. You've got to stay on certain sides of the fairway to give yourself better angles into the greens.
And the fact that the course changes so much.
Like you said, there's subtle changes that you don't really see until you actually go out there and someone's like the 11th hole. Is it the 11th?
Yeah.
Where they made that change in the runoff on the right. Like, I didn't really notice it and someone told me and I'm like, I actually can't see it. But then when you're there and you see it, you're like, all right, it's actually made it a lot tougher.
Well, I think there might be some real big changes for next year, because there's been a lot of storm damage.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
there's been a big storm going through Augusta, and I believe the golf course might have had some damage done to it. More trees falling down, so there might even be more changes for next year. But I think that's the as much as we know Augusta, it also changes so much year on year.
And as everyone says, like, it's just a golf course. But then when you go there, you get it's the aura of like, it's Augusta, and you're actually like, it's not that you're nervous, but you have that adrenaline pumping through your body, and you don't want to make mistakes. And like, sometimes when you go to these golf courses, you're always trying to like pick the best spots to hit it. At Augusta, you're like, where do I not miss it?
Yeah.
So then you like start thinking slightly different, and it just gives you that. I don't know. I think I have a great story. Me and Finno, obviously we grew up playing municipal golf at Bootle Golf Course when we were kids. The first time we ever went on Augusta together, you're not allowed phones on the golf course, wherever. I remember me and Ian walked the golf course, and I remember we got on the 18th green, and he got his phone. I was like, Finno, we can't have phones. He's like, 2 lads from Bootle, we can do whatever we want. And he's like, we're taking...
He's 6 foot.
He's 6'6". I mean, no one's going to throw him off. So we're there taking selfies on the 18th green, like, loving life. And it was like, we can't be doing this. But we're like, well, whatever. We've grew up watching Augusta on the TV. Like, we can do whatever we want. No one will see us.
He's brilliant.
Oh,
Finno's superb.
class.
We're trying to get him on the podcast desperately. And he always says, but no one will understand what I'm saying.
Well, you need a translator.
Yeah, as long as you put subtitles on, you'll be fine.
It's quite hard on an audio podcast.
True.
Yeah, we would genuinely do the translator.